Tomb of Osiris discovered. Blackened structure was built to represent Egyptian god of death's mystical resting place. 2 rooms full of debris lie untouched within the dark structure.
Get me to the farm.
An eerie blackened tomb belonging to Osiris, ancient Egyptian god of gods, has been unearthed. It is thought that the symbolic burial site was used in rituals to connect the god of the afterlife's vast powers with the pharaohs. The unusual structure was built during the 25th dynasty between 760 and 525 BC and was uncovered at the Al Ghorna necropolis on the west bank of the River Nile near Luxor, Egypt. Announced in 2015 by Antiquities Minister Mahmoud al-Damati, the Tomb of Min is based on the mythical Tomb of Osiris, complete with shaft, chapel, large hallway, burial chamber, carvings, and even a statue of the god, Luxor Times reported. A staircase leading down from the pillared hallway cuts through bedrock to a chapel with a vaulted ceiling, which holds a statue of Osiris. Pharaohs and other rich ancient Egyptians were associated with Osiris in death if they paid for assimilation rituals, which meant they could rise from the dead with Osiris and inherit eternal life. The statue is surrounded by a corridor to isolate and protect it from what is thought to be the most important part of the tomb. Myth and importance of Osiris. Osiris is traditionally depicted as a bearded man whose legs are mummified. He is often seen wearing a pointed crown with ostrich feathers and holding a crooked flail. The crook is thought to represent Osiris as a shepherd god, but the symbolism of the flail is more uncertain. He is commonly depicted as a pharaoh with the complexion of either green, the color of rebirth, or black, alluding to fertility of the Nile floodplain. Considered the oldest son of the earth god Geb, he is ruler of the dead and granter of life in the form of sprouting crops and fertile flooding of the Nile. Through hope of new life after death, Osiris is associated with cycles observed in nature, but he was worshipped as Lord of the Dead until the suppression of the Egyptian religion during the rise of Christianity in the Roman Empire. He has also been described as he who is permanently benign and youthful, and the Lord of Science. One version of the myth of Osiris says that his brother Set, along with the Queen of Ethiopia, conspired with 72 accomplices to plot his assassination. Set fooled Osiris into getting into a box, which was sealed and thrown into the Nile, but Osiris' wife Isis searched for his remains until she found them embedded in a tamarind tree trunk, which was holding up the roof of a palace. She managed to remove the coffin and open it, but Osiris was already dead. She used a spell to bring him back to life so she could become pregnant, but afterwards he died again and she hid his body in the desert. Months later, she gave birth to Horus, the patron deity of Nekhen, Upper Egypt, who is often depicted as a falcon, as with a falcon's head. Later, hunting in the desert, Set came across the body of Osiris and tore it into 14 pieces, scattering them across the land. Isis gathered up the parts of the body, except for his phallus, which had been eaten by a catfish, and bandaged them together for proper burial. The gods were impressed by her devotion and resurrected Osiris as god of the underworld. On the west side of the corridor, a funerary chamber is decorated with reliefs of demons and deities holding knives, which are thought to be armed guardians standing guard over the tomb's occupant. The unusual structure was built during the 25th dynasty between 760 and 525 BCE and was uncovered at the Al Ghorna necropolis on the west bank of the Nile River near the Valley of the Kings. The architecture of the tomb is unusual because it represents a model of the mythical tomb of Osiris, of which most obvious replica known so far is called the Osirian at Abydos. Archaeologists of the Spanish and Italian-led excavation note that the symbolism of Osiris is present throughout the building, including a staircase leading to the underworld, a statue on its island, and an empty corridor symbolizing the river. A burial chamber lies below the statue, linking the dead with Osiris. On the west side of the corridor of the Osiris statue, another room contains a shaft 22 feet deep, leading to 2 empty rooms and 2 more debris-filled rooms, which were yet to be explored in 2015. 2 chambers may have escaped the attention of archaeologist Philippe Viret, who discovered the tomb in the 1880s, the Egyptian Department of Antiquities said. While he made some attempts to plot it on a map, the significance of the site has been ignored till now. Deep inside the ancient structure, another staircase in front of the statue of Osiris goes down 29 feet, leading to a room with another shaft, which is thought to be the deepest part of the funerary complex. It was not known when excavations will continue, but we'll keep you updated.
And I feel like New York City. Get me to the farm. Get me to the farm. Get me to the farm. Somebody get me to the farm.